I made my first hire when I was 19, someone who was 9,000 miles away from me. I got the idea from a book called The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. Here's the key. You can go to this website called Upwork, upwork.com, and you can go and search for people to work with. And they can be from all over the world, from Brazil, from China, from the Philippines. And the beautiful thing is there are smart people all over the world. You can hire video editors, you can hire developers, you can hire engineers, you can hire whatever you want. And the second that you realize that it's actually so easy to hire people, your life changes. So when I was in college, I started building this 3D printed skateboard brake, and I hired a graphic designer to help me update some of my designs to make them look a little bit more juicy. Next is I started working as an iPhone developer. I would make apps for people. I realized that this was not very fun work for me to do, but it was really important. So I hired my first developer. His name was Norbert, and he was based in Ukraine. But here's the trick. I didn't only hire Norbert. I hired 10 people, and I just kept the one who was by far the best at communicating, delivered the best results, and had the best rates. And with time, I built this habit of thinking, hey, this thing is time consuming or it takes energy or I'm not good at it. Let me just hire somebody else to do it for me. And what I would do is I would work as a product manager. I earned about $30 an hour. And then I would hire someone else for the same amount of money to do the thing that they were experts at. Call it making something in Figma or Photoshop or CAD. This completely changed my life. And it meant that other people could be working for me while I was sleeping. I unlocked this crazy ability to create so much more value. And so there's a couple of things to know here. The first one is you never want to hire one person if you're hiring through Upwork. You want to hire 10, see who gives you the best results, or ask them to do a test before they start working. Then you'll identify the people who communicate well, and you want to find people who don't overpromise. You want to find people who underpromise and overdeliver. That is key. Trust is really important. Don't put all your trust in someone to begin with. Build up the trust over time. The beautiful part is no matter where you are in the world, people are people. If you can show gratitude, if you can communicate well, if you can lead well, people will follow you. And you'll build real relationships that impact you for the rest of your life. The next stage was learning how not only to hire people through websites like Upwork, but also learning how to build real relationships with people and helping them grow. At a certain point while I was working on Speechify, there was just way too much work for me to do. So I started posting on Facebook groups, saying stuff like, hey, I'm working on this app, I'm building out the iOS app and the Mac app, but I need some help on the website. Anybody good with JavaScript and HTML can help me. And I initially thought that, someone from Brown would reach out, but this guy from Bulgaria reached out, Simeon Kostadinov, or his nickname, Simon.
Hey.
Simon started helping me remotely, and I built these relationships with folks who joined our team at Speechify, and now there's an incredible team of 100 people who work on Speechify in 22 different countries all over the world. So it doesn't matter where I go, I can always crash with someone and work with something on them during the day. Now, where it does get challenging is when you have a lot of people working with you that are not working inside of an office. How do you stay organized? So we use a thing called the KPI sheet. Basically, we have a Google sheet. Every single person in the company includes their name. They pick a metric that they're supposed to move. How many people are downloading the Chrome extension? How many people are using this specific feature on the iPhone app? And so they'll say, hey, this is the feature I'm going to move. Here's where that feature is at the beginning of the quarter. And here's where that feature is going to be at the end of the quarter. And there's 13 weeks in a quarter. And so every week they'll update that sheet and they'll tell us how their progress is doing. What features did they ship? What bugs did they fix? What design did they create? Which users did they talk to? And how have they moved their number that they're responsible for from where it was in the beginning of the quarter to where it is supposed to be by the end? As you work with more and more people, you find that some people take so much initiative and take so much ownership that they start being able to run projects themselves. And that's the most beautiful thing in the world, because it means that you don't have to micromanage anybody. You have someone in the weeds with you back to back, and you're working on projects together, and it's the best feeling in the world. The other app I use a lot to manage all this work is an app called TimeBuddy. It gives me a grid that shows me every single time zone stacked on top of each other. So if I want to figure out, okay, I need to have this meeting with this person and I want to have it in the morning, 9 a.m. PST. Okay, that'll be 3 p.m. London time, and that'll be 7 p.m. Israel time. And so now we can have a meeting, everybody at once, and everybody's awake during that time. So if you want to learn more about working remotely, check out this video about the 4-Hour Workweek, and you can actually download the 4-Hour Workweek in Speechify in the audiobook section if you click the link below. With that, happy listening.